he's tired, old Lim. Now you can take the knife, get that brush clean, and you can scrape through this and allow the black canvas to show through. And it'll look like little sticks and twigs that live back in here. I hope you can see those. When you do your own painting, you'll see them. They'll be there. Something about like so. All right, that's all there is to it. I think we're about ready to take the contact paper and film and see what we have. This is the moment of truth. So we just grab the paper, pull it right off. You just let it show the painting. It's really good. It comes out so gorgeous. I just these paintings excite me. I know none of us are interested in those happy bucks. But if you're out seeing paintings, these are different. You'll be surprised how people will come along and marvel at how you did this. It's very, very nice. It's time to sign this. That, signatures, uniqueness factors, personal development, and signature. So find yourself to sign the initials, the whole name. How do you want people to sign it? It's simple. It's up to you. Pick a signature and stick with it. Because it becomes your trademark. People 100 years from now look at your painting and recognize exactly that it was you. All right, let's go right in here and just sign this one. We have a very short name. So it's quite easy. Sign it, call it done. There. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a very easy painting. I'd love to see some photos. And I worked up till they blended together. So we have a graduation from white to black. And with that, let's just make a happy little scene today. One that's fun and I think you'll enjoy. We'll start out with a little tiny 2-inch brush. There we go. Take a little bit of the phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is a gorgeous, gorgeous blue. Beautiful color. Don't need much, so it's very strong. Tap the bristles. See that distributes the paint all the way through the bristles very evenly. Okay, let's go up in there. Now, I'm going to start up here in this corner, just making little X's, little crisscross strokes. Just dance in a quick little happy sky. Easy little sky, so nice and simple. Just drop it in like that. That's all there is to it. A little something like that. Now then, go back in the same color, only this time I'm going to tap the bristles firmly right into the paint. But very little paint, just tap it, see? Just tap. Now we take that top corner of the brush, and I want to make the indication of a big old strong cloud. We're using exactly the same color, but just by doing something this simple, you can create that illusion without a lot of work. There we go. And I'm lazy. I look for easy ways to make gorgeous paintings that work. That's what makes this whole technique so fantastic. It works. There we go. Something like that. There. This style of painting is not for just a few special people. Anybody can do this. Anybody. I have people in their 90s that write me letters and say, my 4th grade art teacher told me I had no talent and I've spent my whole life wanting to paint. And I tried your technique and it works. It works. Now those are the kind of letters that I love to see. There. All right, we just blend that a little bit. Now then, Tell you what, I'm gonna grab another brush. I have several of them going here. I'm gonna dip it into just tap it the same way into a little bit of the titanium white, just a small amount. I want to put a little indication here and there, maybe of a little sunlight that's just zinging through these clouds. So I just tap in a little area, get our little blender brush, and very lightly you can blend that. And it might not look like a whole lot now, but when your painting's finished, it'll look like little light areas where the sunlight's playing through there. There. It's also a nice way of making clouds. Today I just want to put little indications of little happy floaters that are going all over the sky. Back to our little blender. And this blender brush is so soft you can blend right over that firm paint without disturbing it. All right. That's all there is to it. And with that, we got a pretty nice little sky. Let's take black, midnight black, alizarin crimson, a little phthalo blue. We'll put a little Van Dyke brown there too. What the heck? It's your world. You make it any old color you want it. But we're looking predominantly for a black color, dark. Cut off a little roll of paint, and it lives right there. You can see it lives right out of the edge of the knife. Let's go up in here. Now let's have a big mountain that lives up here in our world, right there. Just take the knife and firmly push this paint right into the fabric of the canvas. Push it. Push it. Really get in there, and this is where you take out all your frustrations and hostilities. Get in there and just, as my son Steve says, mush it in. There we go. I don't know if that's a word or not, but everybody knows what he means when he says that. Now we'll take a 2-inch brush, and we want to grab this. This has the liquid white and black on it, so color will move. You can literally slide it around on the canvas. If this was a dry canvas, right now you'd be in agony city trying to pull that paint. But it's wet, and we can move it anywhere we want it. The only thing we're concerned with is that nice top edge up here. The rest of it, we don't care. We really don't care at this point. Now, let's go into, let's just go into titanium white. I'm gonna put the least little bit of black into it, just to gray it down a little bit. Something about like that. Maybe even a little tiny bit of the bright red. Pull it out as flat as you can get it. Cut across and get that little roll of paint again. It lives right out at the edge of the knife. And maybe, tell you what, let's have the light coming from the left today. What the heck? Or maybe in your world you want it coming from the other direction. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. However you want it. Totally and completely up to you. I'm just sort of wiggling the knife back and forth here. I want to make a nice ridge. It comes right on down like that. And let it blend outward. No pressure. Absolutely no pressure. There. Just think about where light would zing through here. And sometimes I use the little knife because you can get in there and put more detail in it. But right here we have a very limited amount of time, and shoot, I got a mean old director. If I don't finish in 30 minutes, she has no sense of humor. Absolutely none. There we go. So we'll use the big knife. But when you're painting at home, find the tools and equipment that are most comfortable to you, and that's the ones you want to use. That's the ones. All right, we take a little white, put a little phthalo blue in it. We'll make a shadow color. I'm going to add a little black too, just to dull it down. Just to dull it down a little bit. There. Nice shadow color. Same way, cut off a little roll of paint. And we go right up in here and begin thinking where shadows would live. If light's coming from the left, where's all these little gorgeous shadows going to live in your mountain? There. Now, one thing you'll find, if you're right-handed, normally it's easier to have the light coming from the right. Normally. And I say normally because we're all different. What's easy for one person is a son of a gun for the next person. So it's up to you. Try it both ways, see what happens. But now if you're left-handed, it's a whole different story. Because I find, as Annette and I travel all over and teach, we find that left-handed people have been forced all their life to do right-handed things. And for that reason, sometimes left-handed people prefer to highlight on the left or the right. It's very individual. Very individual. My brother Jim was left-handed and I grew up with him. So I'm used to working with left-handed people. There. We were kids. We used to fight like cats and dogs. You know how brothers are. And I never expected that left hand to get me. Boy, he used to sock me. Now he grew up and he's bigger than I am, so I hope he doesn't remember all that. There we go. He's a good man, though. He's my best friend in the whole world. There. Something about like that. You just let this go wherever you want it. Maybe it comes right on down. Just let your imagination take you to anywhere that you want to be. Anywhere. Just sort of let those blend together, the highlights and the shadows. Gently, gently, gently work them together. And we can use a little blender brush here. Just tap it gently and very lightly. This blender brush is so great for softening. There. Don't know why I waited so long to introduce it. We just introduced this, I think, in the last series. It's relatively a new brush, but it's wonderful. It does just some of the most fantastic effects. There. All right. We're in business. Tell you what, let's have some fun. Go back. Let's use the old 2-inch brush, Dave. What the heck? I'm going to go right into that mountain color. Well, I'll change it a little. I'm going to add a little sap green to it. Little sap green to it, just to change its flavor a little bit. I'm tapping the brush firmly right into the paint, because I'm going to paint. I think I'll paint today, show you how you can use just the top corner of an old 2-inch brush and do some things that are unbelievable. Come right up here. Now, take the top corner and begin tapping in some basic little tree shapes. We're not looking for detail yet. All we're looking for is basic tree shapes and forms. That's all we're looking for. They live right here in front of this gorgeous mountain. What a view. What a view. I lived in Alaska for 12 years or more. And I think, as I've said in some other shows, God was having a good day when he made Alaska. There's some days, it's like when you paint. Some days you can't do anything wrong. Everything works for you. And I think God was having one of those days when he made Alaska. Some of the most gorgeous scenery I have ever seen. There we go. See, just using the top corner of this old 2-inch brush, you tap in all these little basic shapes. There's no right, there's no wrong. There. All you do is drop them in. And even here, you begin making out, see, there's all kind of little things happening. Don't cover them up. Leave them in there. They become your friend. Shoot, I like these old big trees. Let's have another one over here. Something about like that. There. There we go. See? But just, once again, basic, very basic shape. Think like a tree. Just think like a tree. How's a tree's arms? How do they hang off the sides? Look at trees. Make friends with trees. Study them. Study them. Go out in your yard and talk to a tree. What the heck? Your neighbors might look at you like you're a little strange, but tell them you're an artist. They'll understand that. Now, while we have this old brush going here, down here on the bottom in this black, I want a little bluish color. A little bluish color. So I'm going to take a little of the Prussian blue, just a little Prussian blue, and just add a little blue right in here. Not much. Not much. Start at the bottom and let it blend upward. You're not looking for a lot of blue here. Just a little. Just a little. About like that. And maybe in our world, back in here, we'll take a little paint thinner. Remember our golden rule. A thin paint will stick to a thick paint. So I'm going to take a little dark sienna, at least a little touch of white in it. Okay, let's go up in here and maybe, yep, you're right. Here and there, the indication, just the indication of a little tree trunk, stem, whatever you want to call it, that lives out in here, limbs and branches, whatever. But they live in these trees. They live in there. You can take a little light color. We said our light was coming from the left. So the left side, you can make it a little lighter if you want to. See there? Now most of this we're going to end up covering up with leaves, but some of it will show through. and it'll be gorgeous. And people, when they look at your painting, shoot, they'll think you spent half your life doing this painting. Shh, don't tell them no different. All right, I'm gonna go, let's just keep using the same old 2-inch brush. I left the dirty color on it, went right into yellow. There's black and blue in this color, so when you touch the yellow, automatically you're gonna get all these gorgeous hues of green. Let's go up in here. Now, go slightly above the dark and take this color and very gently, just using the top corner of the brush, that's all. Little yellow ochre and Indian yellow here and there. There. Just the top corner. Begin tapping in all these little basic shapes. If you have trouble making the paint stick, add the least little touch of paint thinner. Just a little paint thinner. There. See there? Did you ever think you could paint all this detail just using the corner of a 2-inch brush? It looks like something you painted the barn with last week. You can do that. You can do anything that you believe you can do. And I know you can do this. So certainly if I know it, you know it too. Go into a little yellow ochre, and then we'll touch a bright red once in a while. Just to change the flavor. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. That's a nice one. Very nice color. That'd warm up any room right there. There. And begin working on little individual trees and bushes and things that live all in here. Just think about all these little guys. Give them names if necessary. Give them names. This is Clyde. He lives right here. Like that. Like that. See? Darker, darker, darker. Just let them get way back in there. Like that. As I mentioned frequently, when you're painting, I find it helps a great deal to make up little stories about your painting. Think about this area. Would you like to live there? Maybe somebody does live there. There we go. Make up little stories about it. Maybe there's a little animal that lives here that's your friend and you know him very well. Talk about him. There. Something like that. Now, got another old big tree over here. It needs a little bit. There. We'll just put a little in there. I'm going to dip a least little touch of paint thinner just to make it a little thinner. There, see, it goes on so much easier. And you have to do that every once in a while. Especially if the paint's the same consistency. There. Okay. Darker, darker, darker as it works down. Darker and darker. That helps create the illusion of shadows and stuff down in here. Maybe in here there's some dark little bushes. They just live in here. Wherever you want them. There they are. All right. Now sometimes you can take this brush, get a little red on it, and you can just sort of take the corner of it and move it back and forth. See? Just the corner. What a good shot there. See? Take it just back and forth. And now when you go up here and touch, it'll make little pointy things. They got little points on them. And it sort of changes the flavor. Gives you a little bush that's a little different right in there. Okay, take a little bit of maybe a little bit more of the reddish color. Ooh, I like that one. Little firecracker right there. Little firecracker. There we go. And just vary back and forth between the greens and the yellows and all these little colors. But each one of these layers creates a different plane in your painting. And that's what creates that illusion of depth and distance. There we go. Shoot, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Let me clean off a spot to work here. Let's take black, a little bit of the Prussian blue, some brown, phthalo green. I like phthalo green. I'll make some evergreens. There, a little crimson in there too. What the heck? It's our world. We can do anything we want. Let me wipe our knife off. I just wiped the knife on an old paper towel. Go back into our color with a fan brush. Load a lot of paint in the brush. A lot of paint. A lot of paint. Maybe in our world, there lives an evergreen tree. It's right there. There he is. You knew he was there, didn't you? Now, when you're doing this, sometimes to go over all the paint that's in your mountain gets a little difficult. It don't want to stick. If that's the case, add the least little touch of paint thinner. Just dip the corner of your brush into a little paint thinner. Then go back through your paint, and it'll soften the paint, make it thinner, so it slides right on there. enough of them little ones. We need a big old tree. And he lives right in there somewhere. There. See, even going over this, sometimes you need to add a little thinner, because a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. And that way it'll go right over the top of it without any problem. And without all coming together. We'll put one more in there and then we'll quit over this side. I just like to do evergreen trees. I think they're one of the most fun trees to paint. And they're very easy. Let's put one on the other side. Artistically, it looks better if you have an odd number. Now, I know nature doesn't know that rule, and you're going to tell me you looked out the other day and saw an even number of trees in your yard. I know that's true. But artistically, it does look a little better. But if you want to have an even number of trees in your world, that's your business. And it's your tree in your world, and you do it any way that you want. All right, let's take a little white, a little bit of Van Dyke and dark sienna mixed in there. And let's just put an indication here and there, a little bit of tree trunk it lives in. I don't want a lot. Over here, zoop, just a little, just indications. Just indications. Maybe even back in there is a little, wherever you think they should live. We can take that same old brush, go back through, because it has the tree color on it. Go back through some cad yellow and yellow ochre, a little Indian yellow. Yellow. A lot of color. Let's go back up in here. Our light's coming from the left, so we want to emphasize the left side of the tree more than the right. There we go. And just begin dropping in a few highlights. Don't overdo. You'll lose all this gorgeous darkness. And evergreens are normally I say, a little bit darker than other trees. There they go. Something about like that. Darker, darker, darker. Now, let's go into Van Dyke brown. Time to get crazy here. Maybe in our world there lives some dirt, big rocks, stones, all kinds of things right here. That easy. That easy. There. All right, maybe it comes right on out in here. We take a little that was that brown and white we had left over from the tree trunks. We just pull something out like that. Now we'll take a lighter brown and white. Maybe that one was in shadow. You just sort of make up little things. And here, this one here, it's a little bit stronger. A little more light hitting that. Just let the knife barely touch, bounce along there. Barely touching, barely touching. All right, you can take and just grab it here and there and sort of pull it down. It'll make it look like a big, strong bank right there. That easy. Our fan brush that has the greens on it and stuff, we just take it and pop in, pushing upward, pop in the indication, little bushes and things that live right out in here. Now, let's have some fun. I'm going to take a little bit of black, put some paint thinner with it, and make it very thin. I want a thin paint. A little bit of black. We'll put some brown in there too, black and brown. Okay, but it's very thin. It's got a lot of paint thinner in it. Now, I'm going to take some brown and some white, a little black in it, and we'll make a lighter color that's also very thin. That's all there is to it. Just put a little paint thinner with it. We'll take our little filbert brush. We'll go right through the dark, load both sides full of dark, then I'm going to go right down here, pull only one side through the light. And with that, in one stroke, you can make all kinds of little indications of little rocks and stones that live back in here, like that. Now, little bit, and I say that again, a little bit of titanium white on the 2-inch brick. I want to keep this quite dark. Just touch and pull downward. Pull downward. A little bit. Just enough to show. I want this water to be very dark. It's mysterious water. That's where that liquid black comes in so great. It makes wonderful, wonderful effects like that. A little white, a little phthalo blue. And then we'll just take and just touch the canvas. I'm touching it. This is thick paint. Normally I use a thin paint to do water lines. This one's much thicker. All I'm doing is touching. Just touch the canvas. The canvas will take off what it wants, give you back what's left. Just like a tax man does. That's what he does in my paycheck. Yeah, he just takes off what he wants and what's left. It isn't much. All right, back into our dark color. That was mostly, we had some Prussian blue, I think, black, brown, little sap green, crimson, doesn't matter. Let's put a little projection that comes out of this side. And all I'm doing is putting some dark color on, so our light will show. Something about like that. We don't know where it goes, don't know that we care. I got another 2-inch brush here that I was using that has green on it, and with that, yeah, look. We'll put in just tapping. Follow the angles though, follow angles, most important. A little more of the yellow ochre in that one. It's just enough to change the flavor a little bit. There, see? Put all these little things in here wherever you want them. Wherever you want them. Something about like that. There we go. And you can change angles and stuff, and all kinds of things will happen. Back to our blue and white on the knife. And let's put a little water line right around there. That sort of just brings it all together. Keep it dark, go. Very, very dark. Our filbert brush. I want to put a rock over there. I like these little rocks. They're the most fun to make. Bloop, bloop, bloop. One stroke, and they're in. That's all there is to it. Shoot, I think with that, we're about ready for a signature on this one. Take a little red, a little paint thinner. We'll call this little painting finished. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's a nice way to use the liquid black, give you a lot of experience. I think with that, we're going to call this one done. And from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless, my friend. I'm certainly glad to see you today, because I thought today we'd do a painting. It's just a lot of fun. So let's start out and have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to do this little painting with us. And while they're doing that, let me show you this craziness I got up here today. Today I took my standard old pre-stretched, double-primed 18 by 24-inch canvas, but once again, you use any size that's convenient for you. I just like this size because it fits a television screen good. I took a paper towel and acrylic paint. Now we're using oils, but I used acrylic paint to put a dry undercoat on here. Now, I just took a paper towel and a little bit of sienna and umber and just dabbed it, just everywhere. In here I found an old filbert brush and just pulled a couple things through. And I allowed all that to dry. Now I've covered the entire canvas with liquid clear. The liquid clear just makes it wet and slick. That's really all it's there for. The bottom of the canvas, then I've covered with a mixture of sap green and alizarin crimson. It makes a gorgeous brown color. And I thought I'd wait till you got here to do the top part so you can see exactly how it's done. Now sometimes when I'm walking through the woods, which I do frequently, sometimes the sun's coming through the trees and you see this beautiful glow coming right through the trees. And some of the trees that are close to that glow, they sort of just disappear into it. And that's the effect I was trying to achieve. And I'm going to show you a very easy way to make that. All right, let's go today. We use a 2-inch brush to get started here. I'm going to go right into a little bit of the Indian yellow. I like Indian yellow because it's very transparent. Very transparent. It's a gorgeous color. Let's go right up in here. Now with that, right over this acrylic with the liquid clear on it, I'm just going to cover the entire canvas here. The entire top part of it. The bottom is covered with that brownish color. There. Just like so. About like that. That's really all we have to do right now. But see how easy that goes on? If you don't have the clear on there, the liquid clear, this is quite a job putting it on. I've got now, since we have the clear, I use this anytime that I'm using a black canvas or a canvas that has some color or design on it. It makes it so much easier. I'll go right into I made a little of that brown color. Once again, it's alizarin crimson and sap green in about equal parts. I just went ahead and mixed up a little pile here because I'm going to use a lot of it, I think. And right up here in the corner, I'll add a little bit more. I just want to darken this corner, make it look like the sun's shining through here. About like that, and that's really all we need. That's all we need. There, okay, let me wash the brush. If you've painted with us before, you know this is the most fun part of this whole technique. We wash it with odorless paint thinner, shake it off, and just beat the devil out of it. Good way to take out all your hostilities and frustrations. I'm going to take a little bit of the cadmium yellow and put it right over here with some titanium white. Don't need a lot of white. Okay, let's go up in here. Now figure out where the sun lives in your painting. I think it's right there. Take the corner of the brush and we'll start there. And we'll begin working outward. I want this to be very bright, but go right over these trees. I want to just absolutely blend them out where the light's going to be zinging through there. Just blend them out. A little more of the white. There, right in there. I want that to be very bright. If that's our hot spot, that's the source of our light in this painting. And you can do this as many times as you desire to achieve a desired lightness. But I suggest each time you do, get a clean brush or clean your brush, just depending on how many brushes you have. There. And we just let this little glow just work its way out. But already you can see how those trees are almost disappearing in that strong, direct sunlight. And that's exactly the effect that I was trying to achieve. And this makes it so simple. So simple. There. And then we'll just blend the entire thing out. Now already that looks like sunlight coming through there so strong it almost hurts your eyes. It's fantastic. That easy. All right. I'll tell you what, let's use the old filbert brush today. I like filbert brush. I'm just going to go into a little bit of the titanium white with a filbert brush. Just load both sides up. Both sides up, something like so. A lot of color. It's fully loaded on both sides. Now maybe in our world back here, let's make this a winter scene. It could be winter or summer. I think we'll do winter today. Maybe back in here we touch, and there's just a little indication of some snow that lives back here. Barely touch the canvas. I want to just graze it. Just graze it. I want it just to begin picking up some of that color we have underneath. Just graze it though. It has that brown underneath, so it's going to pick up a little bit of that. All we're doing is just grazing it. Sometimes you can put a lot of paint on there and just let it bounce along and break. And by break, I mean it has all these little holes in there. Barely touching. Just let it just drag across the canvas. Allow the canvas to do the work. Let it pull off the paint that it wants. And what's left on the brush, you can just sort of scrub it in and work back and forth. Where you want to highlight, put it on very thick. There. About like that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've already mixed up a large pile here of the alizarin crimson and sap green to make a beautiful brown color. Now you can take that to the reddish side by adding more crimson or to the greenish side, depending on your mood. I usually go a little more to the reddish side. I sort of like that. A lot of color on the brush. Shoot. We might as well check you out for bravery right off in this painting. Maybe. You ready? Maybe. Right there. Just pull it down. A lot of paint on the brush. Very thick. Very thick. Let's have a whole grove of trees. Maybe it's winter time. These trees have lost their leaves. They've lost their leaves. The snow is just beginning to collect on the ground. All the little squirrels and stuff, they're probably up here hibernating, taking life easy for the winter. There. All right. If you watch a show in the past, you know I like little squirrels. I have a bunch of squirrels. I usually raise anywhere from 2 or 3 to a half a dozen a year and turn them loose. I have the good fortune of working with a lot of the rehab people around the country. Here in Muncie, there's a lovely lady named Diana Schaefer that takes care of animals, and she's taught me a tremendous amount about all these little creatures. And in Florida, there's several other people that I work with. I like to work with animals, and these people, They work with injured and orphaned animals and devote their whole life to it, and I have a great respect for them. There. I want these trees, instead of the nice smooth ones we usually make, let's make some trees today that have character. These trees are not going to end up as future telephone poles, guarantee you. I want them to be ragged, rough. That's what my dog said when he sat down in the sandpaper, rough. Bad joke, huh? Now, I'm pushing because I want a lot of little things to happen with a brush. Normally you would pull so you get a smoother line. I want the roughness today. I want these trees to look like, oh, it's been a rough life out here. See, pulling the edges out. Really rough. This is a place you wouldn't want to go in the middle of a dark night. It's one of them scary places. There, when I was young, there were some places where I lived that, they were just sort of scary to be out there in the evening. When it started getting dusk, you could make out all kind of monsters that lived in there. There we are. But we lived way out in the woods. I grew up in Florida. And we lived so far back in the woods, they used to have to pipe sunlight into us. There. All right, see all them old limbs? We'll come back with a liner brush and put in a few little ones, but I really want these old raggedy looking things. Shoot, I like it. I want a tree over here. This is our world, so we can put trees anywhere we want them. Maybe it comes all the way down to there. I don't know. You make that decision. And this painting's great if you've never painted before. This is an easy one. You can do this one. You can do this one. We try to do some paintings in each series that work so well, those who are just beginning can have outstanding results with them, or people who have painted a little bit, they can just have fun with them. And we try to do some paintings that have a little more challenge to them for those that have painted for a while and they need a little more challenge. I'm just taking the brush and rubbing it up and down. I want to make the indication of some little bushes that live way back here. Got to have a place for my little friends to hide. There. Probably a little raccoon lives right in there. There we go. I like little raccoons when they're little. They are the cutest little devils. I got a letter from somebody here a while back, and they weren't happy that I was condoning keeping these animals as pets. Let me emphasize strongly, I do not keep these animals as pets. I only try to help the rehab people raise them up, and then they're turned loose back to the wild, because that's where God intended for them to be. I have all these little squirrels in my backyard that I've raised, and it's funny, people come to the house and they're like little puppies. And I'm not exaggerating. They come to my back door. In fact, they've ate a hole through my screen on the patio. But they come through the screen and they come to the back door and they scratch on the door like a little puppy, wanting me to come out and bring them some goodies. And they know I'm a soft touch. I just decided I was talking so much I'd put another tree in. But isn't this an easy way to make some gorgeous, old, rough-looking trees? Tough old trees. There we go. Just get a general idea of where we want them to be. I like it. Now, I've got a couple of filberts going here, so I don't have to spend all my time just cleaning them. And maybe back in our world here, just make a decision. Maybe there's some more snow lives right in there. I don't know. You know, painting is such an individual thing. Don't just try to copy somebody else's work. Just do your own thing. We each see nature through totally different eyes, and that's what you are to paint. I say that over and over because I don't want to teach people to copy. Shoot. Anybody can copy. Creative freedom, though, is where it's at. That's really the joy of painting. There. We use no patterns, no sketches. We let our imagination take us to worlds that we can only imagine. And we can do that. We can do that. We can do anything. Anything. At least on this canvas we can. Maybe there's another little bush lives right here. I've mentioned before, on this canvas, I have absolute and total power. I can do anything here my heart desires. can change the course of mighty rivers. Anything. When I go home, the only thing I have any power over is the garbage. It sits there and waits on me. There we are, but that's okay. I can always escape to this piece of canvas and create any illusion that I want, and so can you. Maybe there's a big old root on this tree. It comes right out, like that, like that. Let's put some arms on this old tree. Once again, I'm pushing a lot with the brush just to make them all gnarly. Is that a word? My son Steve and I are both bad about making up words. I learned that from him. He didn't learn it from me, of course. There we go. Old Steve, if you've never had a chance to watch him paint, that son of a gun is one dynamite painter. He's almost, 27 years old now. Hey, and this is a 27th series. What a coincidence. But he has been painting, I think, since he was born. He was about 12 years old before he realized everybody didn't paint. There we go. Just a little snow over there. Let me just bring that little bush in the background down. We're going to put some sticks and stuff in these little bushes, and they'll show up a little better. I hope you can see them. All right. Let's go back to this big old tree. On this side, this is really an exercise in making trees. There it comes, there it comes, there it goes. Think about these old limbs that hang out here and there. Now, you could just as easy have done this painting in summer or spring and put leaves on all these trees. I just decided today I wanted to do a scene that, as I mentioned when we started, I like to walk in the woods, and sometimes when I'm walking in the woods in the winter, the sun comes through so strong, and you have this gorgeous effect. And I sat down and I watched this for a long time, and I kept thinking about how would I make that, and how could I do it easy. I knew how to do it as a traditional painter. It's very time-consuming. You have to let things dry in between layers, and you can put some washes and glazes on there. But I wanted a way where somebody could do this very quickly and easily without all the agony. And this is what I've come up with, and I think it works. Now, this is acrylic paint, as I say. It dries very rapidly. It's not very good for doing wet on wet because you depend on the canvas staying wet through the entire painting. Doesn't work very well for that. But for this, where you need a dry undercolor, it works great. I will tell you there is some controversy in the art world at this time as to whether putting acrylic under oil is a permanent medium. I don't know. I really don't know at this point. I have been talking with some manufacturer of art products, though, and about the possibilities of making some other products that there will be no controversy about. So maybe one day they'll have something like that. Hopefully not too far in the future, because I like to design new products that makes painting easy and makes it work for people. There we are. I'm fascinated with machinery and etc. For a long time in college, I was an engineering student, wanted to be a mechanical engineer. Now, instead of building bridges, I'd rather paint them. But a lot of that rubbed off, I think. I'm going to take a little bit of that white, put a little touch of the brown into it. Maybe a little black, just a gray. Oh, I like it. Just to gray it a little. I want to gray it. A lot of color on the brush. Don't be afraid of color. A lot of color. And I like sort of hold this thing like I would a pencil so that it's very loose. Now then, touch and let this dance. Let it play. Let it pick up that color. Let it leave its own color. Let all these things happen. Don't fight it. No pressure. Absolutely no pressure. There's your light. It's going to come across here. No pressure. No pressure. There it comes. There it comes. Just highlight it, but no pressure. Let me get a little more black on the brush to gray that. There we go. But you need a lot of color on the brush, so when you touch it, it'll just pull right off. There. See that? Isn't that fantastic? Just with an old filbert brush. You could just about do this entire painting with just an old filbert brush. Up to you. There we are. I'll have this one come right on through. But I'm turning the brush to get all the paint. And it creates different effects as it's turning and wiggling and jiggling. There. Darker and darker as it comes around, because you want this side next to the light to be the lightest, of course. You do that. There. Look at that. All we need up here is a big old hoot owl. It'll look like Halloween. There. All right. In one of the other shows, I showed some footage that I had taken with a great big owl. In fact, it was a great horned owl. The rascal bit me on the nose there. All right, well, let's do this to a couple other trees here. As I say, this whole painting is mainly just an exercise in painting trees. But when you get it done, people will think you've labored over this painting for long periods of time. Shh. Don't tell them any different. Don't tell them any different. There. Just let it go. Follow right along the edge. There we are. Now, if you have a lot of time, which we don't here, but if you have a lot of time, you can take a very thin paint, thin it with paint thinner, and put it on the script liner brush, a little black in there, and using it sidewards, just pull it down and let it just graze the high points there of that brown. It'll make some gorgeous effects. It does take a little longer than doing this. Try it. You may like it better than this. If you do, then use it. We want to show you as many different ways as possible of creating effects. What you create then is totally and completely up to you. There, put a little bit over here in this old monster. See, but very loose. Very, very loose. There we are. Something about like so. All right. Wipe off the old brush. A little more of the white paint. And we can just sort of fill this in. Want this to be very rough looking. This paint's thick. In fact, in ways, it looks like a traditional painting when it's done. You can go back with glazes. Glazes just made from, you can make glazes from something like a little paint thinner, a little linseed oil, a little color. You can make all kinds of beautiful glazes. Add a little transparent color to it. You guessed it. I need a big tree. Lives right there. This tree, I'm going to sort of put it at an angle so it looks like maybe it's bent over a little bit. There we go. Big old leg sticking right out there. Big tree. Big, big tree. Yeah, there he comes. All right. There. See, it doesn't matter if you pick up some of that color. It makes it look good. Big old limbs hanging out on him. Right across that one. We don't care. See, don't be afraid of it. Do it. Enjoy it. So it makes it fun. Back to our brush. It has the light color on it. We can come back in here. There, see? Just let it play and have fun. There, look at that. Look at that. You know, I've got several letters commenting on this easel I'm using in this series. This is a brand new easel that has just been released. I'm very happy with this easel. What makes it so great, the top comes off. It makes a wonderful tabletop easel with 4 legs instead of the traditional 3, and it's much stronger. It works for this kind of painting very well. There, a little bit of that white. We can add just a little white around his foots. About like that. There, once again, no pressure. Allow that paint just to break on there. Just allow it to break. Maybe there's a happy little bush. He lives right there. Maybe there's another one over in here. Just here and there, some little bushy things. There, a little touch there. Take a liner brush, put some paint thinner on it. There, go right into that brown. And we can just snatch up a few little sticks and twigs here and there. But see, this painting was done with very, very few pieces of equipment, very few colors of paint. It's not a lot to it. It's easy. You can do this one. even if you've never painted, this is one that you can do. And your friends and your family, they won't believe you've done it. They really won't. In fact, I've had people write and say their friends actually started looking for numbers on their painting like it was a paint by number, and they thought they just covered the numbers up. Now you can go back in here and there, put the indication of a few limbs and twigs and sticks and things, but I don't want these to be real smooth. I want them rough, so they follow along with what's happening in this painting. Very rough, ragged, wherever you think it should be. Gnarly. I like that word, gnarly. There we go. See there? All kinds of hangy downs. All kinds of them, wherever you think they should be. There. All right. Yeah, that looks like a Halloween picture to me. And we can put some out in here. And at home, when you do this, take your time. Do a lot of these. They really, all these little hangy down things here are absolutely fantastic. You'll enjoy them. And they make your painting look like, once again, like you spent so much time on it. And only we know that it was very easy. There. And if you enjoy success with this, you won't believe what you can do. This just opens doors to a world of art that'll take you places you've only dreamed about going. All right, tell you what, I think we about got a finished one here. Let's take a little red, sign this one, and we'll call it done. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love to see some photographs of your work. If you have time, send me a couple. Let me see what you're doing. From all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless, my friend. Hi, certainly glad to see you today. I thought today we'd just do a painting. It's a lot of fun. I hope you have your paints out and your big brushes and you're ready to get along here with us. So I tell you what, let's start out today, have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with us. And while they're doing that, as usual, let me show you what I've got done up here. Today I have a standard old canvas up here, and I've covered the top of the canvas with liquid white, the bottom with liquid black, and I've just blended them together so you have a nice even flow of color here. It goes from white to black, and it's that easy. Shoot, let's have some fun today. I thought today maybe let's just do a painting. It's a lot of fun, make you feel good in here. Start with a small amount of phthalo blue. Don't need much, it's very strong, just a little, just a tiny bit. Let's go up in here and let's just tap in all kinds of little happy things. Tap, twirl, whatever. Let's make a sky that has some life in it today. Just spin in all kinds of little doers like that. We're not too worried about them. Just have fun. Painting should make you happy. Should be a good time when you're painting. There, see? Just sort of swirl it in, let it go, play with it. Reach over here and get a small amount of alizarin crimson right on the same brush. Very small amount though. And that'll give us sort of a reddish lavender because there's blue on there. And we'll let that bounce in and here and there, wherever. Just a little. Just a little. And we can go back and get a little white here and there. Just a little white on the brush. And we'll just spin a little bit of that in there. I'm just varying colors. I want a sky, as I say, that has a lot of little things happening in it. And each and every one of these will be different. Yours will be different than this one. The next one that we do here will be different. So don't try to just copy now. Let yours be an individual. There. Just blend that a little bit. And you can vary back and forth. Went back into a little blue there. There. The blue is much stronger than any other color up here. So you have to sort of keep that in mind. Blue it'll get away from you sometime if you're not careful. And phthalo blue is such a strong, beautiful color. Might be just about my favorite color. There we go. There, so it's quite a warm blue. Some blues are very Very cold feeling. Whew. You have to put on a coat just to work with them. Phthalo blue is a warm blue. Probably has a little green in it. Something like that. That's probably all we need for that little sky. While I got the old brush dirty, I'm gonna put a little Prussian blue. And I'm gonna go right over this dark color. About like that. Just let it blend upward. See how easy that is to cover when you have the black on there? This black works wonderful for areas that you know in your painting are gonna have a lot of dark in them. It works wonderful. Now I'm gonna clean the brush. If you've painted with me before, you know that's the most fun part of the whole technique. And that's really the fun. It's just beating the old brush here. Tell you what, today, let's have a little mountain that lives way back in the, oh, it's far away. Take a little black, little alizarin crimson, little blue in it. Something like that. Pull it out flat, cut across, get our little roll of paint. And maybe in our world, a little mountain lives right there. I don't want much paint. Scrape off all the excess. In fact, if it bothers you to scrape, add a little white to it, so that way it won't be so dark. I don't mind scraping the canvas hard. There. All right. But just a small amount of paint as you can put on there. Just enough to stain the canvas. Now, back to our 2-inch brush, and we want to grab this and pull it. Just pull it. And then blend it outward. I want to make this very light. The lighter a mountain is, the farther away it'll look in your painting. If it's close to you, it'll be very distinct and dark. I want this one to live way back somewhere far away, so it's very light. There we are. Something about like that. We can just blend the entire thing a little to bring it together. Okay. Okay, that's all. A little white, just a little time. Maybe I'll put the least little touch of the bright red in it. Just enough to warm it up a little. We have a little pink in the sky, so we'll have a little of that in here. Cut off our little roll of paint. Okay. Now, I don't want a lot of detail back here, so I'm gonna just put the tiniest little bit of color on here. A little bit of white. Don't want much though. Once again, I want this to look far away. So I don't want a lot of detail in it. Just enough to give the indication that there's a big mountain living back here. I don't even know what we'll do in the foreground exactly yet, but we'll come up with something. Don't worry about it. That's what's so great about this style of painting. You can literally start off and only have a time of year in mind. That's really all you need. And time of day, probably, to determine where your light's coming from. But other than that, you really don't have to make any major decisions when you first start. And I like that because about halfway through, I'll probably change my mind anyway. A little blue, Prussian blue, a little white. Maybe a little more white. Lighten it up. Ooh, that's just perfect. A little roll of paint. Almost no color here. Just a hint. Just a hint. Just enough to give a little indication. Because I'm probably going to take the little blender brush and blend this whole mountain to soften it. I'm not trying to put much detail in it. Little blender brush, and then very lightly, following the basic angles. This little blender brush, the hair in it is so soft, you can paint right over this firm paint, as long as it's very gentle, without destroying it. There, see, soften it, blend it. There we are. All right, we just pushed that little mountain back about 5 or 6 miles, right on back there. Now then, let's go into, we'll just use that blue that we had right here. Just tap that brush right into it. Same old bluish color. Go up in here. Now then, I want to just take some of these angles and begin coming downward with them. Make all kinds of little shapes. Grab another brush. I want to do something. I'll take a least little bit of Indian yellow. Least little bit, and just blend it up. Just had an idea. I think if that's there, watch here. It'll create all kinds of little things happening down in here when we come across. Because this yellow, along with this blue, is going to give us a basic little green color. Sneaky, huh? Maybe there's a little dewar that comes down from here, goes up like that, we don't know, and then lift upward. Make it look like there's little trees living back here far away, far, far away. Just little devils. And put a little black with that color, but just a small amount, maybe. Maybe there's another little dewar. Yep, you're right. And it comes right up and through here. Lift it up. There. Just let your imagination take you wherever you want to be here. All these little hills and stuff that live back in here, you can have them. You can have them wherever you want them. There we are. There. See, just vary a lot of these colors and lift. That lifting, though, once again, will make it look like little trees that live far away. Far, far away. All right. Another brush, clean and dry. Now I want to create mist, so I'm going to tap the base of all of this. But just the base. You can even add a little titanium white to your brush if you really want to create mist, but just a tiny bit, tiny bit. And make all kinds of little soft areas in here. There we go. Wherever you think they should live, that's exactly where they should live. I like to make paintings sometimes that are very soft and very gentle. They don't show up too well on TV, so most of them we do on TV are a little brighter, but they're still a lot of fun to do. When you're at home, try some of these. Let's go into, well, there's some lavender color we made the mountain out of. I think that was some black, some alizarin crimson. We're going to put some sap green in it, a little blue, something about like that. Let me get a little white and be right back. Ooh, yeah, nice color. Nice color. Maybe a little black in there too. Just, yeah, perfect. Okay, tap the brush. Get a little paint on it. Maybe in our world, maybe, yeah, you're right. I want to make the indication here of some little foothills. Some little footy hills that live right along. Where do they live? Make a big decision. You decide where they live. But just all kinds of little trees that live far up on the hill. Now notice each layer is getting a little more distinct, a little more detail in it. There we go. Clean, dry brush. And I'm going to tap the base of this firmly, using the top corner of the brush. Firmly, though. Firmly. I want to create that illusion of mist under there. Lift upward. See how soft that becomes? You can do that. Same color, only darker. Little sap green, little black, little blue, little crimson, but darker. Each layer, as it gets closer to you, should get darker. Yep, here we go. All kind of little things living right up in here. There. There's many, many ways of making foothills. But this is one of the easiest, most effective that I've come up with. Try it. Try it before the series is over. We'll show you several different ways of making these. There we go. Just have to decide where this one goes. I don't know. Maybe it goes all the way over here. Don't know if we even care at this point. We only make one decision at a time here. All right. Back to our brush that we were using to create mist. And just mist the base of it. Just really get in there and mist it. Something about like that. There. Isn't that neat? But already you can see plains, just one after the other, all the way up through this mountain. There's already a lot of depth in this, and you've done very, very little. Shoot, that was fun. I'm going to do it one more time. Same colors. Same colors, but less and less white each time, less white. So once again, it gets darker and darker as it gets towards you, comes towards you. There we are. Maybe this one, that's almost the pure color. Not quite, a little white in it, but not a lot. And I'm using just the corner of the brush here. Make some very basic little shapes. I'm not looking for detail. too far away. Much, much too far away. You don't see every leaf in a tree this far away. There. About like that. There. Well, I got that color on the brush. Maybe there's water back here. We'll pull a little of that down. Just pull it straight down. Like that. Reflections are one of my absolute favorite things to do in this technique. I'll put a little white on the brush too. That'll make them sparkle. Just a little though. Don't overdo. Don't overdo. It gets working and it feels good, and next thing you know, you've overdone it. Now go across very lightly. Just enough to sort of move everything. About like that. Maybe there's a little light spot out in here. It's up to you. Just a little shimmer across the water. You can do all these things that easy. That easy. There. Okay, sometimes there. Least little touch of pink in that. Least little touch there. But keep these strokes straight so your water looks like it's level. Otherwise, it'll just sort of go away and leave you. Take that same old dirty brush, go into a little sap green, some of the yellows, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, all of them. I want to make a little green color. In my mind, this area right here is beginning to get close enough to us that we can make out color. Not making out a lot of detail yet, but we're getting some basic colors. Shape, form. Once again, we're not getting a lot of detail yet. Too much detail can be disturbing to the eye, because even if you're not aware of it, your mind knows that things that are far away you can't see a lot of detail in. Sometimes you're not aware of that consciously, but subconsciously you are. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I know you've looked at paintings and you'd say, something's wrong with that painting. I don't know what it is, but something bothers my eye about that painting. And it can be something as simple as that. There we go. I'm just taking a fan brush with a little green on it and just sort of pushing upward just a little. Let me put a little liquid white on there to thin it. Thin paint, we'll stick to a thick paint. And also want it to be a little lighter in color so it shows up a little better. So the liquid white accomplishes that very easy. There. About like that. Just take here and cut in a water line. Just cut it in. This is just sort of a light area to break up between the darks. About like that. There. All right. We don't even know where that goes over there. At this point, we don't even care. Don't even care. There. Few little ripples on the water here and there. All those nice things. Find a fan brush. Liquid white. Okay, fan brush, liquid white, titanium white. I put the liquid blue. You ready to have some fun? Let's do it. It's your bravery test. Pretend you're water. And you're floating along here one day. You're just having a good time. You're not bothering anybody. It's a wonderful day. You're just floating along, enjoying the scenery, and all of a sudden somebody pulled a stopper right out of your whirl, and it goes over. And there it goes. Just let it come right over. But if you go straight and then down, doesn't matter where you go here, we'll cover any of that up that we don't like. It'll give the impression of water that's falling over. Maybe that's the reason they call it a waterfall. Let's take a little bit of brown paint, straight Van Dyke brown. I just want to put some dark in here. We'll put a lot of nice rocks in this, but I just want some dark right along in here to get us started. Really get in there and mash it in. I'm going to have some fun today. Let me clean off a spot to work. Let's take black. A little bit of Prussian blue, a little brown, maybe even a little crimson in it. Then I'm going to take paint thinner, and I'm going to thin this color until it's quite thin. Quite thin. Just use paint thinner, plain old paint thinner. Nice and thin. Now then, I want to take white and a little bit of black to make a gray. Oh, there's a little blue there too, so I guess we're going to have a little blue in that too, but mostly black and white to make a nice gray color. About like that, maybe a little darker. Whew, perfect. Let me get a little thinner. I want this to be thin also. Now you remember our golden rule. A thin paint will stick to a thick paint. So all I'm doing here is making us some thin paint, so it'll stick to all that thick that we have up there already. Okay, wipe off the old knife. Let's get us a little oval brush. Oval brushes are easy to distinguish. They're the only brush we have that has a black handle. And I did that intentionally so you wouldn't get them confused. Load both sides full of color. See, both sides. Now, take one side, only one, and go through that light color. Dark, light. Now watch. Up here in our world lives a big old rock. Big old rock. Right there. See him? He's got a friend there. All right. Now let's just have some fun. Here comes one. Comes right over. There he comes. This is the nicest, easiest way I have ever found of making some gorgeous rocks. Now then, let's have some fun. Let's take black, some Prussian blue, a little sap green. Let me get some phthalo green. I like phthalo green in there. In our world, you ready? There lives, decide where, right there, one big evergreen tree. And when we said big, today we mean big evergreen tree, pushing up. But that's okay. In our world, we can have a tree any size we want it. If I know it's going to be that big, I'd probably use a 2-inch brush to have made it. It's easier. Now that same brush, go into a little yellow ochre, just mix them together. We can go back, put in a few little highlights, don't want a lot. Keep these trees basically dark. Basically dark, something like that. Take a 2-inch, we'll go in that same color. The black, the blue, little sap green. Just fill that all in. Over here on the other side, be brave. Using the corner of the brush, we'll just drop in another one. Wherever you think they should be, just drop them in. Just sort of fill all this up. Just fill it up. There they come. There they come. All we're doing is putting in some darks. And this liquid makes it easy. And it makes it much easier. Here comes one. Yep, right over the waterfall. And then we go through some of that yellow, little sap green on the brush. We can just use a 2-inch brush, one direction. And go right above here. You could do this with a 1-inch. I'm doing it with a 2-inch today. Doesn't matter. Put a little liquid white on my brush. Needs to be a little touch thinner so it'll stick. Very quickly you get a feel for this. As soon as you touch the canvas, you know. See there, darker down here. Now then, maybe in here, you're right, there lives another happy little tree. Notice I'm making this one with the corner of the brush, the other one I made by pushing upward. Just so there's some variations in your world. We want all kinds of little different things happening. There they go. Indian yellow, yellow ochre. Every once in a while, a little touch of that bright red. Whew, give it a little fire. A little bit of fire. Makes your painting look nice. There. There we go. A little bit right in here. Like that. Wherever you think these things should be. Just think of all the little bushes. We can go back to our oval brush. Let's get the dark thing. Dark on the bottom, light on top. This allows you to do them basically in one stroke. Maybe it comes all the way out like that. Over here, oh, there's one. There's one. Get a little more dark in there. Comes out. You put a bunch of these in, and then we'll just go back there with our old 2-inch brush. Old 2-inch brush. And we just go in and fill in all the little holes now with all these little things that live in here. See them? Okay, other side. Put a few over here. There. One little bush at a time. There we are. Okay. A little touch of the yellow ochre added here and there, just to change of flavor. There we are. Ooh, nice one there. Little sparkler. Little sparkler. All right. Then we can go back to our fan brush. Has a little liquid white on it. A little bit of the phthalo blue. Let's splash a little water back in here. Got to make those little noises. Let it go. Just let it go. Something about like that. And that easy. That easy. Shoot. See, leave some little open spots. Looks like little pools in there. There we are. Okay. And I think with that, shoot, we'll call that a finished painting. Hope you enjoyed this one. From all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless, my friend. Welcome back. Certainly glad to see you today. I thought today we'd do a painting. It's a lot of fun, very simple, and I think you'll enjoy it. So let's start out and have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint this with me at home. While they're doing that, let me show you what I got going up here today. I have my standard old, well, I'm using an 18 by 24 inch canvas, but you use any size that you like. And all I've done is covered the entire canvas with a very, very, let me say it one more time, a very thin coat of liquid clear. Now the clear is on here just to make the canvas wet and slick, and that's really the only reason it's there. Be careful when you're using this clear, because you can't see it up here hardly. It's hard to tell if you have enough, if you have any doubt, because usually you put too much on. If you have any doubt, take a paper towel and wipe it down. What's left will be just right. It's better to have too little than it is to have too much. You just want to make the paint slide on there. Let's have fun today. A old 2-inch brush. And I'm going to use very, very little color. Pull the smallest little amount of the blue out here. Little tiny bit of blue. Very small amount. Let's go up in here. Now, very gently, I'm just going to So, let's make it very soft and very misty. Oh, one of those winter, tell you what, let's get crazy. Let's get crazy today. Let's have maybe a few little buildings down here, like a little farm scene or something. I don't know. Just sort of doing some very little color. Shoot, while I got that going, let's just keep going. Maybe we'll just put a little bit of this blue all over. We're going to have a winter scene, and we're going to need some shadows in our snow. So by applying a little blue down here, we'll use that later on automatically. This will become our shadows. And if worst comes to worst, what the heck, we'll turn it into a nice lake or a pond or whatever we want. Doesn't matter. That's what's so nice about this. You can change your mind like midstream. Okay, fun time. Fun time. Let's wash the brush. As you know, we wash our brush with powders and paint thinner. Shake it off. And just beat the devil out of it. Now let's go back with titanium white. First of all, the Prussian blue is transparent. It's very transparent. Now I'm going to go into an opaque color with titanium white. It is very opaque. Very opaque. Just a little color on here. Let's go up in here. Let's just play a little bit. Let's just pick out some areas. Like this. This paint, as I say, very soft, very gentle, quiet little paint. I don't want to start with this big sky here that be distracting. Very gentle sky. So that's what we should have. And today, I want softness in our world, tranquility, quiet, peaceful. Too much bad stuff going on. Peaceful place. Everybody's happy, even the little creatures. There we are. And that's really about all I want for this sky. I don't want to do much more than that. Something about like that. And I get to wash the brush again. All right. I really just want to wash the brush. Just raise kidding. If you're going to do this at home, I suggest you get a little thing called brush beater, right? It goes down in the garbage can. Because if you do this in your living room, you're not going to be very popular. I guarantee. I guarantee. All right. Let's go into a little black. Very small amount of blue, but there's very little paint. Very little paint. Just tap these little indications, really touching the canvas. Little indications. Far away. Almost the same color as the sky. Very light. Far away. Remember that. I keep saying it because it's important that you can take this. I want to blend the edges out so it just disappears. Sort of disappears. If you want to make this sort of look like it just, I don't know, like it sort of flows, almost like a watercolor. Take a little more paint on the brush, because paint here, they have a violent reaction. And it'll sort of just grow, and it's beautiful. Looks like watercolor. There. Something about like that. That's a little background, something that's we don't even care where it's at, far away. Let's have one in the foreground, a little closer to us. We use the same color, only a little more paint, and add the least little touch of Van Dyke brown to it. But there's still not a great deal of paint on the brush. Not a great deal. Let's go up in here. Tell you what, let me show you something. I'm going to take just the least little touch of paint thinner. I told you the paint thinner, liquid clear, have a violent reaction. Wipe off the excess touch. Just sort of tap all these colors together. Right here. This is just me and some basic little shapes. Very, very basic. There's paint Not a lot. I wiped all of it off, as you saw, that I could get off, but didn't beat the brush. There's still some in here. The old saying, you don't have to be crazy to do this, but it helps. Sometimes it does. This is where you enjoy freedom, though, on canvas. Just let things happen. Let them happen. There. This for several hours. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at those effects. It makes one of the neatest, little, nicest things. And all you gotta do is you can use the knife to flick it, or you can just use the side of the palette, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that'll continue to work. Once again, it looks like a watercolor. Right? Just put a little bush, same colors. Just tap it. Each layer gets a little bit darker as it gets closer to us. And maybe in our world, there's one more little tree, lives right here. We don't know. Don't know that we even care at this point in our life. They're just making all kinds of little things. Okay. Yeah, there's another one there. Here's one here. Sometimes you can just take and push sideways. All kind of little illusions here. That a little, taking a little paint thinner, a little bit of white paint, put a little blue in it too, just to dull it a little. And maybe in our world, maybe there's some little tree trunks that live up through here. Just a few. There we are. See, you can pull it down, you can lift it up, whatever works well for you. A few little things in here. You can actually just take plain paint thinner and do this. The snow. It's the easiest way there is to make snow. There. Just like that. Maybe it goes right on across. I don't know. Now see, intentionally, I went around this tree. Now it looks like that tree is forward. Does that make any sense? I hope I'm saying that right, so you understand. Sometimes I get so excited I don't say things right. It's just a neat effect. Look at that, it's setting down in the snow. I got there. I'm excited it's going to have some buildings out here. Maybe one of the easiest ways that I found to make a building is take the knife and just firmly scrape out a basic shape. That does two things. First, you use excess paint. Second, it allows you to lay out your building mind, I think this little shed's not going to get as much light, so it's going to be a little darker back here. So we'll make it a little darker so he's pushed back a little more. I think in my mind this side of the house will be a little lighter than the front. Maybe later on you decide you want to get serious about it. You can go back and order the bottom, and they go right together. There. And it's available, I think, in most better art stores across the country. And if you can't find one, drop me a line. I'll find out where they are and let you know. Okay. Take a little blue and white. Mix them together. bristles. Liner brush holds a lot of paint. And maybe in our world, maybe there's an old fence left here. And we can just do this with a little liner brush. As they go away from you, let them get smaller and closer together. Closer together. Pull that brush in one direction. Load a lot of color in it. Watch. Now I'm going to turn it over. See how it's rounded? You want that rounded corner to go to the top. You can also see right there, we just tape these furrows. I have people write in and they say, how come your brush looks different than mine? We put a little tape on those furrows just to keep them from shining on TV. It's identical to your brush. Guaranteed. Now, with that nice white color, all you gotta do is just go ahead and really touch. Just barely touch. Let's take a little bit the consistency. Hope you've enjoyed this one. It's very, very simple. even coat of liquid white. So it's all wet and ready to go. And let's just have some fun today. We'll start with our little 2-inch brush. I'm going to a small amount of the Indian yellow. Very, very small amount. I don't need much. Just tap the brush into a little bit. Okay, let's go up in here. Let's just make a little painting on this oval that's very warm. Let's just use all nice earth tones, browns, and a very, very warm little painting. It'll make you feel good. That's what painting's all about. See, we'll just start out making a little doer like that. Take a little yellow ochre. Didn't clean the brush. A little yellow ochre. And we'll go right around that. We're making little tiny crisscross strokes because they're easier to blend out than if you just make a big circle. So make little crisscross strokes. Make your life easier. And we're looking for easy ways to paint here. We want things to work very, very easy. There. And you can take this out to wherever you want it. It's up to you. Totally, completely up to you. There we go. Maybe right to there. We'll come back to it and blend all this together. There we are. We have something for the Museum of Modern Art already. We can stop right there. All right. Now then, I've made a brown color today by mixing alizarin crimson and sap green together in about equal proportions. And I just pre-mix that to save a few minutes. But it's just these two colors mixed together. It makes a very warm brown. You can take it to the other side or the green side. Up to you. Sort of like going to the red side a little bit. So let's add a little, just reach it a little bit and rub it in. Let's go in here. This is just blending that scene. Let's take a little brown. That's the same brown we made. That's the only brown we're using today. It's just the crimson, sap green. Be right back. I'm going to get a little white and mix with it. So we make a light color brown. About like that, maybe a little more white. All right, let me wipe the knife. And today, I tell you, let's use a fan brush. I'm going to load both sides full of color. Just work it right through the paint. About like that. Let me get a little more white. I want that a little lighter. Yeah. Maybe even, shoot, let's get crazy. Add a little bit of yellow ochre to it. I like that better. It's warmer. Okay, let's go up in here. Maybe sort of disappear under an edge. The color is almost the same there. Almost the same. So this blends right out. You can even tap a little bit of titanium white on your brush. You want to create a distinct, misty area, tap it in. That easy. Up to you. Right. Now, maybe in our world, you can get a little more of that brown on your brush. Maybe there's another layer of little trees and stuff that live back here in the background. As things get closer to you in the landscape, you want to get darker and darker. So we just add a little more brown to the same color. Load the fan brush back up. These trees and lines are a little closer. So you can see the ornament. How it takes the color. Working down the tree. Down. We just put a few little indications. They live right here in your fan brush. Sometimes you have to sort of scare them out. There we go. Shoot, it's working so well. No use stopping now. Once again, you decide how many trees live in your world. There's some little bushy areas back here. Take it, same color on the knife, and just put the indication of little things that are happening in between. This is how you turn a few trees into a lot of trees. Show you a few trees in the Let's go with the 2-inch brush. Go into some brown and white. Maybe in our world this comes. When you do yours, you decide what color you want. Okay, let's go back up in here. Same old brush, and we'll just tap in some nice little highlights on this. Just nice little highlights. Yellow ochre, Indian yellow, cadmium yellow, little sap green. Just whatever. You make the decision. There. I know. Sometimes you see things. If you had this little opening right here, you'd have to put a little cabin right there. I scrape out a basic little shape. There. And we scrape it just to remove excess paint. Give us a general idea where we're going. And we'll take a little brown and let's begin. Let's begin figuring out all of our little angles. There we are. Over on this this side. Maybe it comes out here like that. I don't know. It's up to you. Down under here. Here we are. And then down. At this point, you're not committed. I know. Maybe, yep, let's get crazy. Maybe there's a little shed on this cabin. You need a place to put your tools. Right there. Or your fishing tackle. I'd rather put my fishing tackle in there. All right, we'll take a little of that brown. Let's get some bright red. Nice color. Nice color. Just makes you feel good. Bright red, white, a little of that brown we made. Don't overmix it. Leave it marbledy, if that's a word. Cut off a little roll of paint. And let's go up here and just let that bounce right down the side. Just so it looks like maybe old shingles that are falling off the roof. Times are hard out here. Real hard. There. I like to make old buildings and stuff that look like they've had a rough life. There. Okay. Maybe, I tell you what, take a little white, a little bit of that brown without the red in it. And with that, let's just put the indication of some highlights there. And a little bit more in there, making the front a little brighter so it stands out. Off the old knife. And take a little of that brown paint on the edge of the knife and just make it look like old boards that live in there. See there? Just old boards. Now, back to our roof color. And let's put a roof right here on this little shed. See? Got to make those little noises or it doesn't work. Just brown and white again. Need a little bit out there. We'll put some little boards in there. Like that. Shoot, that's about to give us a basic little shape here. About there. And then you can just use the brush to cut off wherever you want it. Like there. I'll tell you what, let's take a little brown on the small edge of the knife. Just put a little window in there. Maybe one right there. That easy. That easy. All right, back to all of our little colors. Just begin working it down like that. Take old 2-inch brush, a little bit of that brown on it, and here and there we can just tap in using the top corner. Indication of some little bushes that live in there, wherever. Very soft, gentle. Now then, back to my brush. It has some of that brown we made on it. Let's pull this straight down. We'll make a little reflection right there in the water. There, straight down though. It's most important that it goes straight down and then go across. Creates that illusion of a reflection that lives right there. That easy. That easy. Well, while we got that old brown brush going here, you ready? Maybe in our world there lives just a big old, ooh, there goes my nice evergreen. But it's not wasted because we learned how to make them. So anytime you learn, it certainly is not failure. There. All right. See, just use the top corner of that old brush. We can tap in the indication here and there. Just a big old tree that lives out here. Down in here, I'm going to go into a little bit of the midnight black. I want it to be darker in here. Deep shadow. Deep shadow in there. Maybe it comes all the way down. I don't know. You make the decision. There. Let's bring it all the way down into the front. It's our world, and we can do anything here that we want to do. This is that brown we made with just a little black in it to darken it. All right. This painting uses a very few colors. It's not something you have to have a million colors to do. There. You can do this one very easy. I'm going to take a liner brush, go into a little bit of dark with one side, and let's see. Let me get a little liquid white up here. Okay, a little of the dark color. Then one side of it only, throw a little bit of light color. We can go in here. Let's just find some occasional little stones. Then paint. Just like you do. Use a little 2-inch brush. It doesn't make any difference. Whatever works for you. A little bit of green, sap green, a little bit of yellow. A little yellow ochre, but mostly in the yellows. Okay, let's go up in here. Maybe back in here we'll just tap in indication. Just a few highlights in some of these trees. Don't want much. This is in the background. Just a few little things. Some trees that I can afford now. Get a little paint color. Done that. Let's go into some yellow. All I'm doing is tapping the corner. See if I can lives a little bush. If you have trouble making the paint stick, or liquid white. See, dip it in the liquid white. Now the liquid white, let's just do it. It'll make it a little bit brighter. All right, let's go into straight brown, that brown that we made. All right, here's your bravery test. Ooh, that's scary, isn't it? Isn't that scary? You worked on that so long and so hard. Some crazy guy tells you just to give it a little pull. We'll make this a little birch tree. Something about like that. Titanium white. Sometimes you can see a little reflected light on the other side. Needs to be very, very thin, though, so it'll flow right across there. It lives, yep, you're right out here. There we go. Let's see, this one needs an arm on him, too. We don't want him left out. Little tree's got to have an arm on him. Reach up here and gather the sunlight. Birds got to have a place to sit too. Shoot, you don't want them out here with no place to sit. All right. And when you do yours, you put as many just touch the canvas and tap in the indication of some little leaves that live out here. There, see? You decide where and how many. All right. Super little thing. That's all there is to it. Brush works so well for these kind of things. Yeah, we can go right back to those little tubes brush. That's working pretty good. Just some little bushes that live all out in here. Do one little bush at a time. At a time, it creates the illusion of depth and distance in your painting. I add a little sap green in there. Make a little darker color when it lives right in there. Let's have some fun today. Every once in a while you need to get crazy. Put a little liquid white on the canvas. There. Maybe, and I'm really not a floral painter, but maybe there's a few little daisies out here. We need a net here to paint florals. Our partner Annette's one of the best floral painters in the country. Whew. I'm gonna get her on here one day. We'll have her just daisies or something that live out here. And these are so simple to do. Anybody can do these little rascals. And we take a little red and yellow, mix them together. Little center button in the daisies. A little bit of brown here and there. We can put in some sticks and twigs. Something about like that. And you can always take the knife and cut in sticks. Just less green. It's a very simple little painting. And the whole gift is very unique. It's a wonderful gift to give to friends and relatives. Certainly glad to see you today. Thought today we'd do the little painting that you see at the opening of each show. So let's start out with all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with us. While they're doing that, let me show you what I got up here. I have my standard old canvas. This is a double prime 3-starch canvas. I'm using 18 by 24, but you use whatever size you want. I've just covered the entire canvas with a little bit. That's it. Just look at that. And with that, let's have some fun. I'm going to start with Prussian blue. Old 2-inch brush. Prussian blue is a very strong blue. I like Prussian blue. Let's look at it. We start up here in the corner and we just make little X's or little crystal strokes. Now this will not be an exact duplicate of what you see at the beginning of the show, but it'll give you an idea of how it was made. There we are. Because we have no patterns, we use no tracing, no lines, so nothing ever comes out exactly the same. go up in here and let's just take and begin tapping this. Just tap it, like so. Let me get a little more color on the brush. There. And all we're looking for here is very basic shapes. We're not looking for any detail at all. Just let that blend right on out. Something about like that. There. All right, a little more of the titanium white. Another little cloud right here. And you put as many clouds in your world as you want. As many as you want. Or as few. Because you want it as dry. As possible. Go take some black, some Prussian blue, a little brown, a little lizard crimson, whatever. Maybe a little more of that crimson. I like crimson. It's one of my favorite colors. Pull it out as flat as you can get it. Cut across, get a little roll of paint. There you can see. Right on the edge. And we had a mountain in that world, and it lived right here. All we're looking for initially is the shape of the top here. That's really what we're looking for. We could cure this. What's happening elsewhere? We will later. Right now, that's all we're looking for. Just this nice outside edge up here. That's all. That's all. Very little paint. All we're doing is staining the canvas. There. Does not take a lot of paint. I'll put a little bump right there. So you just make a decision and drop it in. In your world, total, absolute power. Scrape it hard. You'll probably hear that. Pull it. You cannot get it all off. Don't worry about it. The only way you could get the canvas back to where you could pay another color is to wash it with paint. Which is okay. I do that. just dry too rapidly. This is a wet on wet technique. So we depend on it staying wet through the entire painting. If it doesn't, then we've defeated our purpose. Sorry to jump around like that. Just jump over the things. There. Maybe here, just blend up the titanium. And put the indication of some little things that are far away back in here, just by tapping. Just tapping. These are going to be in the background. Just touch to the other touch of the cabin. Very nice one. Instant green. Looks like a little green inside. We don't even know how far. Highlights live in your mountains, because your mountains may be different than mine. They're probably much better. Just, there comes a little light. Just let it play. We had a little ridge right there. See, that's all there is to it. Mountains, to me, are one of the most fun, enjoyable things to paint. I love them. Mountains, I mentioned a couple of times before. I lived in Alaska for a long time. Alaska has some of the most gorgeous mountains that God has ever made. Once again, this will not be an exact duplicate of what was on TV at the beginning of the show, but it will certainly show you how it's made. Does it happen just by changing this? Grab a small knife. When you get the canvas, it's easy. I'm just tapping the bottom here. I'm going this out a little bit. regular angles. Always follow those angles. Sometimes we come from a camera that gives you sort of a funny angle. So if that happens, don't think your painting should look like it. We're coming from a different angle. Okay. That's a question I hear frequently is, I see you look to the side. What are you looking at over there? I have a television monitor that's right off camera, so I can see exactly what you're seeing. And then we have some of the most fantastic camera people in the business here. And they'll look at what I'm looking at in between us. We'll turn everything so you can see the best. You get the best results you can. There we go. Taking a little red. A little Indian yellow ochre, and some of that bluish color out of the brush. Now really make a nice green. Time to have some fun. Let's take some Prussian blue, some black, some crimson, and we'll put some sap green in there too. There we go. That makes up quite a bit of color, like that. I'm gonna clean the old knife. Let's make the little trees that were in the background. For that, there's a fan brush. It's clean. Let's go right into this very dark color. This color should look black on your palette. Because of the Prussian blue, it'll be predominantly blue. Let's go up in here. And we'll have some blue right here. All we're doing is just touching and tapping the operative. That's all. It's very, very simple. Don't make it complicated. When they start breaking apart like it, it means it's time to reload the brush. All right. Maybe they cover a little bit in there. And really don't need to be concerned about these nice tops. gesso is an acrylic base. It's designed to dry very rapidly. It's for when you want to work on a dry surface like with black. You want to work on a wet surface, so it just depends on your mood. There. Both mediums have their own characteristics and they're both neat. There we are. Something about like it. All we're doing is just coloring it. Certainly glad you could join us today. I thought today maybe we'd just do a little winter scene. It's very simple and make you feel good. Let's start out and have run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with us. They'll come across right about there. While they're doing that, come on up here. Let me show you what I've got done. Today I have my standard old pre-stretched double prime canvas. Say that with a mouthful of rocks. And I've just covered the entire canvas with a very, very thin coat of liquid white. So the canvas is wet and it's slick and it's ready to go. So as I say, let's just have some fun today. Let's do a winter scene that's got a little color in it. Sometimes winter scenes can become too cold. So I'm going to take a little bit of the cad yellow. Very, very small amount. I just want a little tiny bit of color in this. Let's go up here. Now up in here, let's just start, and this probably won't hardly even show now. It will as we progress in the painting, I believe, though. Little bit of yellow right along in there. Just making little X's or crisscross strokes, whatever you want to call them. A little bit more of that, I like that. There. I just want a little glow in the sky, so it's not totally dead old winter scene. All right. That's really enough. And as I say, it probably doesn't even show up much yet. It will. It will. I'm going to take some white, some midnight black. I'm going to make a gray color. There. Dark gray. Okay, I'm going to wipe the old knife off here. We just wipe the knife with a paper towel. I'll just use that same old brush, it's fine. Go into a little bit of that color. Just tap a little color into the bristles. All right, let's go right up in here. Then we can just begin. Winter has a lot of gray skies, so that's what I want to make today. Just making little X's, little crisscross strokes. Like so. Just put in a little bit of color. There. See, that's all there is to it. Start at the top and work downward. That way your pen is continually mixing with the liquid white that's on the canvas, and automatically, your sky will get lighter and lighter to your horizon. And in the landscape, that's exactly what you're looking for. Right. Something about like so. I don't want to lose all my little yellowish color there. We'll have a glow in the sky. Glow there. Let me grab another brush. I have several of them going here. Make sure it's dry. And then I'm going to blend this. Start in the light area and blend toward the dark area. And when you're at home, you can take your time and really blend this out so it's just as smooth as silk. There. All right. And then we'll just go across the entire canvas to remove the brush strokes. Okay, we're going back to my brush. It had all that nice gray color in it. And let's take, once again, all I'm doing is just tapping the bristles right into a little bit of color. Just tap. So you can see one corner is hitting, but the back is really not hitting. It's just the front corner I'm using. Maybe an hour lives, does not. Does not. That easy. Just a happy little cloud that floats around the sky here all day. And just using that corner that you watched us load, just using that corner and doing tiny little circles with it. The back of the brush is not touching the canvas. It's just that corner. Something about like so. Like that. Just making little circles. Going back to the brush, it's sort of clean. Very gently. I'll blend the base of that out. It just disappears. Just dissolves right into the sky. Because the liquid white's on there, this works very simple. You lift it, fluff it. You can use your little blender brush to do that if you wanted to. There. Something about like that. Speaking of the little blender brush, you can take it. I'm going to tap the corner of it, just the corner of it, same way we did the other, into a small amount of titanium white. Just a little. And this brush is so soft, you can go right back over it. Maybe there's a little light that zings right through there. Just blend it right in. Right in. Have a little light spot up in there. There. We can reinforce our cloud a little. And we're in business. That easy. That easy. I love to paint skies. They're a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Okay. Same old brush. It has the gray color on it. I'm going to take it now and go into some titanium white. I want to lighten the color. And pull the brush, wiggle it. Wiggle it as you pull it. That pulls the paint toward the end of the bristles. Makes the brush very sharp. See there? Good. Now with that, let's go up in here and let's make the indication of some little distant trees. They live far back in the distance. We're just using the side of the brush and bending it sidewards. This is a super way of making little trees that are far away. Far away. I don't want a lot of detail in these. As trees get closer to us, then we'll put more detail in. Right now, just looking for indications of little trees. There. Isn't that an easy way of making them? You can do this. You can do this. Give me a little fan right there. Something about like that. We'll just put a few little ears in there. And we'll come back. And we'll come back and we'll blend them out some. Okay, watch. Clean, dry brush. And get mean with it here. This is where you get tough. Take out all your frustration. And hostilities. Just get in there and really tap it. Just tap it. We want to create the illusion of mist on the base of these. Lift upward, takes out all the little tap marks. Shoot, we got it. Easy. Go back to that brush. I'm going into the same color. It's just gray. With the least little touch of Prussian blue into it. Least little touch. Least little touch. Not much. I want it to be gray. Just want to change the flavor a little bit. Now then, maybe we're getting into some trees that are closer to us. So we touch, and this time I'm going to give it a little upward push. So it looks like the bristles on the tree, the limbs on the tree, the bristles are on the brush. Looks like the limbs on the tree are sort of going upward. Look at that. Isn't that the easiest way to make a tree ever seen? Trees are difficult. There. Just put them on. Decide where they live in the world. Drop them on. Now we have two trees. This is mostly black, touch of Prussian blue, and white. Mostly. Pushing sort of upward. I want these limbs to sort of go upward on the tree. And you decide in your own hour. You decide. There comes another. Now sometimes you get a little crazy. If you're an artist, that's expected. You can take the big brush here. Look at there. There's a tree, maybe he got a little more sunlight, he's a little stronger, a little more detail to him. About like that. And we go back. We're just getting a clean 2-inch brush. You know, when I beat it on the easel like that, the only thing I'm doing is removing any excess paint that's accumulated on it. And now I'm, once again, beating it very hard, really getting in there and tapping it. There. Now these planes create the illusion of depth and distance in your painting. They're very valuable. They're your best friend. Take care of them.